Now the next topic is absolute error, relative error and percentage error. First of all, absolute error. Basically, it is the difference between the true value and the measured value of a quantity. And if you want to see the derivation, we have to consider the following things. If a1, a2, a3 up to an are the measured value of any quantity, a is an experimental performed n times, then the arithmetic mean of these values is called the true value, that is denoted by am of the quantity. It means we can write the arithmetic mean am equal to a1 plus a2 plus a3 up to an divided by n. The absolute error in the measured value is given by del a1 equals to am minus a1. Similarly, for second quantity, the absolute error will be del a2 equal to am minus a2, del a3 equal to am minus a3, up to so on. The magnitude of the difference between the individual measurement and the true value of the quantity is called the absolute error of the measurement. Remember one thing, that del A calculated by this method may be positive in certain cases and negative in some other cases, but the absolute error will always be positive. It means we have to take the mode of these values. Okay. Next one is the mean absolute error. It is the arithmetic mean of the magnitude of the absolute error. And what is absolute error? We have already been discussed. It is the arithmetic mean of the magnitude of absolute error in all the measurement. That is called the mean absolute error. It is denoted by del A bar, that is equals to mod of del A1 plus mod of del A2 plus up to so on mod of del AN divided by n. Next one is the relative error. Relative error is the ratio of mean absolute error to the true value. Relative error can be expressed as relative error equal to mean absolute error divided by true value, that is equals to del A bar upon AM. Next one is the percentage error. The relative error expressed in percentage form is called the percentage error. It means simply we have to multiply relative error by 100 and divided by this quantity by AM. So percentage error equals to del A bar divided by AM into 100 sign of the percent. Next one is the combination of errors, in which we will discuss about the error of a sum or difference, second error of a product or a quotient, and third one error in case of measured quantity raised to a power. First, error of a sum or a difference. When two quantities are added or subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute error in the individual quantities. Z equals to A plus B. We have by addition Z plus minus Z equals to bracket start A plus minus del A bracket close plus bracket start B plus minus del B bracket close. The maximum possible error in Z, that will be del Z, that is equal to del A plus del B. Now for the difference, Z equal to A minus B, we have Z plus minus del Z equal to A plus minus del A minus B plus minus del B, that is equals to A minus B plus minus del A plus minus del B, or we can say plus minus del Z equal to plus minus del A plus minus del B. The maximum value of the error del Z is again del A plus del B. Hence we can say when two quantities are added or subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute error in the individual quantities. Next one is the error of a product or a quotient. Now students, when two quantities are multiplied or divided, the relative error in the result is the sum of the relative error in the multipliers. Now suppose Z equal to A into B, and the measured value of A and B are A plus minus del A and B plus minus del B, then Z plus minus del Z equal to A plus minus del A into B plus minus del B. Now solve this. AB plus minus B del A plus minus A del B plus minus del A del B. Now divide left hand side of this equation by z and right hand side of this equation by ab, we have 1 plus minus del z upon z equals to 1 plus minus del a upon a plus minus del b upon b plus minus del a upon a into del b upon b. Now since del a and del b are very small, so we can ignore this quantity in the product form. Hence the maximum relative error will be del z upon z equals to del a upon a plus del b upon b. Now by using this result, we can find out the rule. The rule is when two quantities are multiplied or divided, the relative error in the result is the sum of the relative error in the multipliers. Error in case of measure quantity raised to a power. Suppose we have quantity that is z equal to a square. We can also write down the z equal to a into a. Then del z upon z equal to del a upon a plus del a upon a. That is equals to 2 del a upon a. Hence, the relative error in a square is 2 times the error in a. We can also write down the general formula. If z equal to a to the power p into b to the power q upon c to the power r, then del z upon z equals to p del a upon a plus q del b upon b plus r del c upon c. By using this result, we can consider a rule. The rule is the relative error in a physical quantity raised to a power k is the k time the relative error in the individual quantity. The next topic is significant figures. Significant figure in the measured value of a physical quantity tell the number of digits in which we have confidence. Large the number of significant figure obtained in a measurement, greater is the accuracy of the measurement, and its reverse is also true. Now come to the rule for counting the significant figure. First, all the non-zero digits are significant. Next, all the zeros between two non-zero digits are significant no matter where the decimal point. Third one, if the number is less than 1, the zeros on the right of the decimal point but to the left of the first non-zero digits are not significant. For example, in 0.002308, the 0.00, these three digits are not significant. Next one, the terminal or trailing zeros in the number without a decimal point are not significant. Next, the trailing zero in a number with a decimal point are significant. For example, the number is 3.500 or 0.06900 have four significant figures. Students, I will suggest you please keep pen, pencil, notebook in front of you. Okay. Now, next rule. For a number greater than 1 without any decimal, the trailing zero are not significant. Next rule, for a number with a decimal, the trailing zero are significant. Rules for arithmetic operations with significant figures. Rule number 1. In multiplication or division, the final result should retain as many significant figures as are there in the original number, with the least significant figure. Please keep in mind, with the least significant figures. Rule number 2. This rule is for the addition or subtraction. In addition or subtraction, the final result should retain as many decimal places as are there in the number with the least decimal places. Please keep in mind, this is the least decimal places. Now the next one is the rounding of the uncertain digits. There are 5 rules by which we will see that how we can round off the digits. Rule number 1, if the digit dropped is less than 5, then the preceding digit is left unchanged. Okay. And the second one, if the digit to be dropped is more than 5, then the preceding digit is raised by 1. Next one, if the digit to be dropped is 5 followed by the digits other than 0. You got my point? If the digit to be dropped is 5 followed by the digit other than 0, then the preceding digit is raised by 1. Next rule, if the digit to be dropped is 5 or 5 followed by zeros, then the preceding digit is left unchanged if it is even. If it is even. For the odd case, if the digit to be dropped is 5 or 5 followed by the zeros, then the preceding digit is raised by 1 if it is odd. Dimensions of a physical quantity. The dimensions of a physical quantity are the power to which the base quantities are raised to represent that quantity. Note that using the square brackets round a quantity means that we are dealing with the dimensions of the quantity. Now, what is dimensional equation? An equation obtained by equating a physical quantity with its dimensional formula is called the dimensional equation of the physical. Dimensional analysis and its application. The magnitude of physical quantities may be added together or subtracted from one another, but please keep in your mind these addition or subtraction are only possible if they have the same dimensions. Now, the principle of homogeneity of dimensions in an equation is extremely useful in checking the correctness of the equation. Now, students, please keep in your mind that if an equation fails the consistency test, it is proved wrong, but if it passes, it is not proved right. Thus, a dimensionally correct equation need not be actually an exact equation, but a dimensionally wrong or incorrect or inconsistent equation must be wrong. Now, next one, deducing the relation among the physical quantities. The method of dimensions can sometimes be used to deduce relation among the physical quantities. For this, we should know the dependence of the physical quantity on other quantities and consider it as a product type of the dependence. So, student, chapter has been completed. Now, I will suggest you to go through the chapter by NCERT book again and do the practice of solved example and exercise question of this chapter. Okay, thank you, students.